Erling Haaland has scored over 250 career goals. He has won the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the treble. He has broken records that people said would never be broken. And until this year, he had never played a single minute at a FIFA World Cup. Not one. Think about that for a second. The most lethal striker on the planet. A man who scores goals the way most people breathe. Naturally, effortlessly, constantly. Never been to a World Cup. Why? Because Norway, his country, hadn't qualified since 1998. 28 years. And here's the part that will genuinely give you chills. Erling Haaland was born in 2000. He has never, in his entire life, watched Norway play at a World Cup. Until now. I'm Football Untold, and this is the story of how one man almost single-handedly dragged an entire nation back to the biggest stage in football. But stick with me, because this story has a twist nobody saw coming. Let's go back to 1998. France, the World Cup. Norway are there, and they do something extraordinary. They beat Brazil. Yes, that Brazil. Ronaldo Brazil. The Brazil that would go on to reach the final and lose to France. The greatest Brazilian generation of that entire era. Norway beat them 1-0. Tore Andre Flo. A moment of pure footballing madness. And then, like a light switching off, Norway disappeared. They didn't qualify for 2002, or 2006, or 2010, or 2014, or 2018, or 2022. 6 consecutive World Cups. Gone. Now, here's something I need you to understand about Norway. This is not a small footballing nation. This isn't Curaçao or San Marino. Norway has produced real talent. Ole Gunnar Solskjær, John Carew, Jan Åge Fjørtoft. Players who competed at the highest level of European club football. But the national team? It just never clicked. Never had that one generational player who could carry them over the line. Until a boy from Bryne, a tiny town of 15,000 people on the southwest coast of Norway, started kicking a ball. His father was a professional footballer, Alf Inge Haaland, a solid Premier League midfielder who played for Manchester City. His mother was a heptathlon athlete, built for speed, for power, for explosive movement. And when those two genetics combined, they created something that football had never quite seen before. A 6'4" striker who moves like a winger, who thinks like a chess player, who scores like a machine. Erling Braut Haaland. And from the moment he arrived in professional football, Norway's World Cup dream had a heartbeat again. Okay. Now I need you to pay close attention to these numbers, because what Haaland did in World Cup qualifying is, statistically, one of the most dominant individual performances in the history of international football. Are you ready? 8 qualifying matches, 16 goals, 2 goals per game, every single game, for an entire qualifying campaign. But here's what makes it even more insane. He didn't just score against weak teams. Every single footballer pads their stats against San Marino or Liechtenstein. That's normal. That's expected. Haaland scored against everyone. Moldova, 5 goals in 1 game. Norway won 11-1. 11-1. Israel, hat trick. And then, the moment that made the whole world sit up and pay attention. Italy, the 4-time World Cup champions. Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, Alessandro Bastoni in defense, a squad full of Champions League players. Haaland collected a through ball from Martin Odegaard, looked up, rounded Donnarumma, slotted home. Norway won 3-0. A few months later, Italy again, away this time. Norway won 4-1. 4-1. In Rome, against Italy. And remember, this is the Italy that eventually failed to qualify, that lost to Bosnia on penalties, that sent their federation president home in disgrace. Haaland and Norway didn't just beat them, they destroyed them. Twice. His final tally, 16 goals in 8 games, matched the all-time European record set by Robert Lewandowski for Poland in 2018. 8 clear of Harry Kane, 8 clear of Memphis Depay, 8 clear of every other striker in Europe. Not 6, not 7, 8. And with those 16 goals, Erling Haaland did what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer couldn't, what John Carew couldn't, what an entire generation of Norwegian footballers couldn't. He took Norway back to the World Cup after 28 years of waiting. But wait, because I told you there was a twist, and here it comes. Here's the thing about Haaland and Norway that nobody is talking about. He almost didn't make it. Not because of injuries, not because of form, but because of something far more complicated. For years, there were serious questions about whether Haaland would continue playing for Norway at all. The demands of a full club season at Manchester City, one of the most intense environments in world football, combined with international duty, were taking a physical toll. There were reports of frustration, of conversations behind closed doors, of a player who loved his country but was exhausted by the system around him. And yet, he stayed. He showed up, every single qualifying match. And when it mattered most, when Norway needed him most, he delivered at a level nobody in world football could match. 16 goals. Because here's what I think people forget about Erling Haaland. The goals at Manchester City, the Premier League records, the Champions League nights, the trophies, those mean everything to him as a professional. But Norway? That's different. That's personal. That's his father's country, his grandfather's country, the country where he grew up, where he learned to play football, where 15,000 people in Bryne watched a skinny kid kick a ball and had no idea they were watching the future best striker in the world. And now, this June, Erling Haaland gets to do something he has never done in his life. He gets to walk out at a FIFA World Cup in a Norwegian shirt, with 28 years of waiting behind him. Norway's World Cup 2026 group? Group 1, France, Senegal, and one playoff winner. Yes, France, Mbappe, the current European powerhouse. And you know what? I wouldn't bet against Haaland getting on the score sheet. Because if the qualifying campaign taught us anything, it's that when Erling Haaland is motivated, there is no goalkeeper in the world ready for what's coming. 28 years of waiting. One man who refused to let his country miss out again. And a World Cup that just got a whole lot more interesting. Now, I want to hear from you. How many goals do you think Haaland scores at the 2026 World Cup? Drop your prediction in the comments. Best prediction gets pinned. And if stories like this are what you're here for, subscribe to Football Untold, because we have the story of every single nation at this World Cup that nobody else is covering. Norway waited 28 years for this moment. Don't miss a second of it. This is Football Untold.